Hi, this is Dr. Teresa Dale. You are listening to Natural Health Radio, and I'm your host. Sorry, we had to adjust the picture just a little bit to get the windows out, but here we are. So, as you're coming in today, we want to talk with you about research, and that's what we're going to talk about research today related to certain vitamins, minerals, some cutting-edge new research that is going to shock you because you're going to see how things are changing in the world and how even the medical establishment now is using natural medicine to handle some pretty difficult things. So we've got some research for you today. This is Natural Health Radio. I'm Dr. Teresa Dale. And our phone number, in case you want to give us a call, is 800-219-1261. I want to start off with a vitamin called niacinamide. Niacinamide is a miraculous product that is so simple and works so good for many different things that it's now being used in traditional medicine for cancer. Okay, and I know of this because of patients and friends and family and people who are reporting to me, plus the medical research that I've been talking about for the last 10 years says that. Niacinamide is a miraculous B vitamin. What does it do? Well, if you just start at the top, if you know anyone seriously depressed, you've got to take niacinamide, and that will get them out of the depression in a few moments. And they would have to keep taking it. Now there's no flushing, and they would take it for a period of time, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, to handle whatever is going on in their brain that might be causing or exacerbating the depression or even suicidal thoughts. Okay, so niacinamide, when it's taken for something serious, you want to take 1,000 milligrams a day to 2,000 milligrams a day. So that means you would take 3 of my niacinamide a day, 1 with each meal, if you are seriously depressed. I can tell you that you should not just stop the if you're on meds for depression, you should not just stop it, but you should wean yourself off of it and take niacinamide with it after checking it out to make sure that there's no contraindication with niacinamide, and most of them don't have that, but you can look it up to see if there's any contraindication of taking niacinamide with your psychotropic drug for depression, okay? Because in most cases, niacinamide, I would say in probably 99% of the people, they do better with niacinamide for depression than on anything. That would be a key for you to know. It's a B vitamin. It's water soluble. It has no toxicity and it works. What could be better, right? The other thing niacinamide is great for and proven in medical research, and this is all I always give you, stuff that has been researched, is diabetes. It has been proven that niacinamide lowers blood sugar and helps the pancreas to function better. And there is an enormous amount of research on that, which is on my website, Dr. Dale's Wellness Store. Click on niacinamide. It should be up there. If it's not, it'll be up there by tomorrow because I have new research going up there. And about diabetes, it's proven to work to help diabetics, okay? And the next thing that it helps with is to lower blood pressure. That's why I said it's a miraculous B vitamin that there's so much research that it's now in medical literature because it can't be ignored anymore, right? So with diabetes, blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, lowers it. And you have to be careful it doesn't maybe lower it a little bit too much. But that would be only after taking it for a little bit longer than you need it. So what you want to do is take it with meals, and you can measure your blood pressure every day, and you're going to see it coming down. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to stop your blood pressure medication. That means you need to talk to your doctor and tell him or her that you are integrating niacinamide in your diet, and that you may need to, you're going to take less of the blood pressure meds as you go along, because you're not going to need it. And you can just show him medical literature that will prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that it works. Okay, you just need to do it. And there's no flushing, there's no side effects, it's simple. The next thing is pretty amazing. I was talking with a doctor who has patients with skin cancer. And so they go in, they may have surgery, and then he puts them on high dosages of niacin so it doesn't come back. And it works with other cancers like that too, not just skin cancer. Okay? And you'll see this in medical literature today. So it's called niacinamide. I make it. I've been making it for years. It's 800 milligrams per capsule. It's made in the United States. The ingredients are from the United States, not from China. So there's no melamine, lead, or heavy metals, or magnesium stearate. It's in veggie caps. It's totally safe. And you need to take it every day, even as a preventative. Okay? So if you're using it for a preventative, I would do 800 milligrams a day. And if you're taking it for a specific thing, I would do anywhere from 1,500 milligrams to 2,000 milligrams a day. And it has to be a clean supplement. Clean meaning there's no heavy metals in it or junk, like I was saying, because those kind of things, whether it's magnesium stearate or stearic acid or coloring or melamine that's in a lot of products, and heavy metals that are in a lot of ingredients from China. You don't want any of those things. And you don't want them in gelatin capsules. You want it in vegetarian capsules. My veggie capsules are made from celery. I mean, you cannot get any more natural than what I make, okay? Everything is clean. The niacinamide is phenomenal. We have really great success. Even if somebody has mood swings or a little bit depressed, just take 2 of them with a meal and you'll just shift right out of it. You'll feel like, what happened to that depression? Now I'm feeling great. I'm working. I'm having ideas. I feel happy, So niacinamide is a great thing. So I want you to check it out. And we're going to bring you other great information on supplements that we have researched, and I have researched for many years. Now, many people get confused between niacinamide and niacin. Niacin you can't take too much of, because you'll get flushing. You'll turn red and get like pins and needles all over your body, and you'll get red and it won't be pleasant. Okay, even if you take it with food. I mean, even 100 milligrams can cause that. Sometimes 50 milligrams can cause that. But very, very little niacin can be taken without having a flushing sensation, which could be on your face and all over your body and feel very prickly. Whereas niacinamide, you have zero flushing no matter how much you take. So it's a phenomenal thing. You need to check it out. Go to drdaleswellnessstore.com. If you're doing any cleansing, and so many people have used my whole body deep cleanse or the slow cleanse, in addition to that, it would only help your body to include the niacinamide and also the Optimal Multi Pro, which is a whole body multivitamin that is clean, with your B vitamins, your ashwagandha, phosphatidylserine, choline for your brain, and methylcobalamin, and B12. That is methylcobalamin, and then the 5-methyl tetrahydrofolate, which is the most absorbable form of folic acid or folate. So those two things are very important. We're going to go very soon here to our food segment. So we need to get right on that as soon as possible, because we have some great information for you about food. As you know, when you take supplements, you have to make sure to find out if you take them with food or without food.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale, your host. This is Using Food as Medicine.
Oh, great. Then we're talking about that already. We have to make sure that we know when we're taking supplements what the directions are, taking them with meals, without meals, with food. But using food as medicine is the way to go. So you can just imagine using food as medicine and taking the right supplements together, exercising your lymphatic system, exercising your body, and how powerful that will all be if you know to take the right things. See, education is power. That's the power. To be educated as far as, number one, your body, what all of your organs do, right? And then what nutrition and minerals and vitamins they need in order to stay healthy. That's what we want to teach you. We want to teach you how to use food as medicine. And you learn about that by being on the show, but you also learn by going to wellnesscenter.net and becoming a member, so that you can read all the educational materials, look at all the protocols for healing different conditions, and that's how you learn very specifically. So there are certain foods that are very powerful. One is that we will... in order to heal our body, we need vegetables. I would suggest every day having vegetables at every meal, or 2 meals, and a green smoothie. Green smoothie is very powerful, with kale and spinach and celery and ginger, zucchini, turmeric. You want to put also some, maybe if you're a man, a little bit of maca in there. Flax seeds, you can put some fruit like frozen mango, frozen pineapple, frozen banana in there. If you have a blood sugar issue, then put very little fruit and keep it to berries. If you have diabetes, probably no fruit, okay? But as I was saying when we started the show, niacinamide is just awesome for blood sugar. Awesome. And the vegetables that are really helpful to your body with a lot of nutrients are your broccoli, kale, spinach, the dark green ones, because they have the most biophotons from the sun. And that light is absorbed into the leaves. So you want to eat dark green veggies. And you can also throw some cauliflower, maybe a half a carrot in and steam them. And then what do you put on top of them? Well, that's the problem. A lot of people say, well, I don't know what to put on top of them. And what they think of putting on top of them is not healthy. You don't want to put cheese on top of them, right? You don't want to put butter on top of them. You can put olive oil and some balsamic vinaigrette. Or what I love doing is trying different things. One of the things I love is Trader Joe's makes an organic sesame tahini. It's organic sesame seeds that are like they probably put them in a Vitamix and they stick them in the jar. You could do the same thing if you have a Vitamix. Get sesame seeds, put them in Vitamix. It'll make their own oil, and so it'll be a little bit oily. And I just put that on my vegetables, and I'm very, very happy with that. It's awesome. I love the taste of sesame seeds when it's in tahini form. You can buy sesame tahini in the health food store, at Trader Joe's, they have a good quality, much, much less price. Okay. It's called organic sesame tahini sauce, or there's no sauce, just sesame tahini. And you read the ingredients, it only has organic sesame seeds in it. That's it. There's no water in it or anything else. So that is really, really a nice source of a little protein as well. And you could take that and just drizzle it on your veggies. There's many things that you can get at the health food store, like sauces, like teriyaki sauce that is organic. It has no soy sauce in it. You want to avoid soy like the plague. And you could put some of that on it. Olive oil or avocado oil, a little balsamic vinaigrette or apple cider vinegar on it. You could do it that way. But no cheese on it. I mean, that's defeating the purpose of eating something healthy. So it's very mucus producing. And using food as medicine, we want to be clear, it does not include dairy products. Dairy products, very unhealthy for you. So you want to eliminate dairy products, stay with the green veggies, stay with everything organic, and you'll lose a lot of weight if you just eat steamed vegetables, like at 2 meals a day. You can have other things with it. You can have, for protein, you can have some organic chicken with it. But if you just had vegetables and then the tahini sauce, and then you could have a gluten-free, some little pasta or the Thai rice noodles with it. You could make it like that and put tahini sauce on the rice noodles. It's great. Or take some avocado and smash it up into the pasta. Okay, so we want to, meals have to be delicious. And I have played around a lot with this because my father was a culinary artist and a master chef working at and running the kitchens and working at it in New York City for his whole life. He's from Switzerland, and he won so many awards and for carving in ice, carving in sugar, carving statues out of sugar, chocolate, ice. And I grew up eating very good tasting food. Not unhealthy per se, because it was way back then before they had all these preservatives and stuff, but it was very healthy food. But too much pasta, too much noodles, too much bread, and a little bit too much meat. I think if we had more vegetables, that would have even been better. So I like my food to taste really good. And I know you do too. And if you think health food can't taste amazing, that one thing you can tell yourself you're wrong if you try some of these things, because you may really like it. Okay, so we need to look at a few other foods here that can be used as medicine. One of them that I just adore is getting enough of vitamin A in your foods, and D, and getting all the vitamins in your foods. And a lot of that has to do with the color of the vegetables as well. A great soup that I make in the Vitamix, okay, is really healthy and really delicious. And I don't think I ever shared this with you before. So I think you're going to like this. Write this down. Take 1 small butternut squash. Unless you have a big family, then start with 1 huge butternut squash. Steam it, or put it in the oven and bake it until you can stick a fork in it. And then you take it out, cut it in half, take the skin off, take the little seeds out in the inside. You'll see the butternut squash seeds. You take those out. You cut it up in pieces, maybe 1 or 2 inch thick, and you put it in the Vitamix. Add to that the following things: organic hazelnuts. So you want to add 1 cup of organic hazelnuts to it. Just take the whole nuts and stick it in there, right? Then you want to add about a cup, but no more, maybe 3/4 of a cup of almond milk. I would also add either curry powder or cayenne pepper to it to taste. Okay, and then you put a little bit of black pepper, and you put a tiny bit of Himalayan salt, sea salt, in there. Okay, tiny bit to taste. Wait till it's finished doing processing in the Vitamix before you put the salt in, because it may not need it. And you would put maybe a half of a teaspoon of curry powder and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. To taste, you may want it spicier, hotter, or taste more like curry. But wow, wow, wow. It's like a 5-star meal. A 5-star meal, I'm telling you. We are going to talk to you about emotions next. And there is something coming up on my screen right now. But that's okay. I just canceled it. All right. So emotions. I mean, huge issue today. Did you know that every illness has an emotional connection? So that means that there is something that is in your cells from a trauma, some emotion in the cells from some trauma that happened in life, whether it was when you were 1 year old, 5 years old, 10 years old, all the way up to maybe, 5 years ago. There's some emotional trauma in your cell. This can affect the health of your body. This can affect the health of your mind.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. This is Emotions and Your Health.
And here we go. Okay. So what we need to do is understand that emotions are key to getting well. You have to find them. You have to release the emotions that are causing issues. So in order to release emotions, we need to use the neuroemotional remedies. There's one for every acupuncture meridian. And so the neuroemotional remedy number 1 is for your bladder, and that relates to you're feeling irritated. If you feel irritated a lot for different, whatever the reason is, it's the neuroemotional remedy number 1 for the bladder. It also helps strengthen the bladder in case you have bladder incontinence. Neuroemotional remedy number 2 is for your gallbladder. And the emotion related to that is resentment. Well, I don't know anybody who doesn't have that. If you don't have resentment, you're an alien. You're not real, or you're just not aware, or you don't even know that you have emotions, or something like that, whatever. But everybody experiences these things from time to time. The problem is a lot of people try to stuff it, try to suppress it, shove it down inside of you, and then it comes back, and it stores in, like resentment or any emotion stores in the organ that is related to it. So resentment stores in the gallbladder. You get gallstones. A lot of people get gallstones in their gallbladder. That's not only related to what you eat, it's highly related to your emotion, resentment, and how much you stuff and suppress whenever you feel it, because you don't want to feel it, because you don't know that there are tools available to help you with this. Okay? So that's why I created the neuroemotional remedy number 2, gallbladder. Neuroemotional remedy number 3 is for your heart, your big heart. Okay? And the heart, the emotions related to the heart, this is all according to the 5-element theory of Chinese medicine, which is accurate and 2,000 years old. Really accurate. Heart is related to guilt. I don't know anybody who doesn't have guilt about something or another in their life at some point. Also, the heart is related to trauma and shock. Okay, the heart is also related to a feeling of overwhelm, like when you're overwhelmed. And believe me, guilt, shock, and trauma can make you feel overwhelmed, right? So these things can get stuck in the heart, actually in the organ, and it can create symptomology, i.e., heart conditions, because you've suppressed it your whole life, because you can't deal with it, because you don't know how to deal with it, and because you don't have your own tools to deal with it. Even if you go to a therapist, it's great to talk about it, but that does not always release it. Usually not. We're talking about releasing it. So we have the neuroemotional remedy number 3. Okay. Neuroemotional remedy number 3 is the heart. Neuroemotional remedy number 4 is fear. Okay. Now fear, everybody has fear now, and then maybe you've had fear your whole life about everything, or maybe you have fear only about some things that would cause anybody to have fear, like there's a car coming at you and you're afraid, or whatever it could be. You're getting married and you're afraid. That's a good reason. But what we have to understand, that fear is a natural part of humanity. Everybody has fear now and then. But for you to have it your whole life and to be afraid about everything is unhealthy. And that is related to the kidneys. The kidneys will store the fear there that you suppress. Because again, you don't know what to do with that fear other than talk about it. You don't have any tools to release it. And so that is why I make the neuroemotional remedies. Neuroemotional remedy number 4 is for fear. And it is fantastic. The next one is the neuroemotional remedy number 5, and that is for the large intestines, your colon. So many people have colon issues, and they don't realize that the emotion related to the colon is stuck. Just being stuck about something could cause constipation, could cause diarrhea. You could be stuck and have bowel issues. There's more to this, though, when we get into this. I don't know if we're going to finish this in today's session or today's show, but if I don't, then we can finish it up next week. But the colon is related to the lungs. In the 5-element theory, they're in the metal element, metal, M-E-T-A-L. So the colon will store the emotion stuck. When you're stuck about something, that means you know what to do, but you're not doing it. How many people does this happen to? This has happened to me. I know what to do, and I didn't do it. Okay. And because I didn't do it, I was stuck about it. And so if you have a colon issue, you will always have, not always immediately, but at some point you've had maybe a cold or a flu or pneumonia or something, or you've had asthma, lung issues, or you could have asthma, lung issues, and it could affect your colon because it's in the same element, the metal element. Okay? So number 5 is stuck. It's colon, it's large intestines. Number 6 is Number 6 is liver. So liver is anger, rage, frustration. Okay? And that is these are all common things that human beings feel. I never met anyone who doesn't feel all of these things. And sometimes all together, like in different parts of their, like for the last year, they may have felt all of them because they had some trauma happened and it enticed their body to feel all of these emotions. So liver is frustration, rage, and anger. Okay. And anger can be a healthy emotion if it's normal to get angry about something. Okay. In other words, you, something happens in your life, and someone is not treating you right, and you feel angry about it, or you find out your husband or wife cheated on you and you feel angry about it. It's normal. It's not normal to carry that through your whole life, but it's normal in the moment, and for whatever time it takes for you to release that and heal that. And the way to heal that is through communication, using the neuroemotional remedy number 6. But communication is always a part of it. You have to talk to the person about it, get the information out that you feel, write about it, whatever it is you need to do, email about it, to get it out. Even write yourself a letter, and write a diary and write all these things down. So number 6 is anger. And boy, that's our hottest selling neuroemotional remedy, because it's anger, it's the liver, and it's frustration, rage, and anger. All right. So the next one is number 7, but I think we're going to wait till next time to do that. And now we're going to talk about remind me next week, get on number 7, which is lungs. We're going to handle lungs next week and go through all of the 12 acupuncture meridians. Right. And so now we're going to be talking about the politics of health.
This is Natural Health Radio with Dr. Teresa Dale. This is your health, freedom, and politics.
Yay. Okay. So we're getting now into what Obama called the silly season, where we have 100 people, or it seems like 100 people running in the Democratic Party, where we have all of these different people, all of these different personalities, and it's hard to get to know, if not impossible to get to know each one of them well enough to know what they're going to do. Okay? And one of the things that is the most important that all of the Democrats are going to be discussing is health care. Whereas, is it the Green New Deal health care? Is it Bernie Sanders' his health care issue is like similar to Medicaid or Medicare for all? But there's some variation, so it's not exactly like the Green New Deal. But here's the thing that is so very important for all of you listening today. We don't know what that means to the person running, how they're going to do it. Are they going to exclude natural medicine from just like it is now, from being treated at medical doctors and having it paid for by insurance? Don't we want that? Of course we do. Well, what you need to do is to take your mouth, put it on the phone, and call and leave messages. So you basically want to do kickboxing with your voice, right? You want to get on that phone and you want to hit a home run. You want to write letters and you want to tell people you want to know what their kind of health care for all would include, and be specific. Does it include natural medicine? And if they say, well, we've never even thought about it, well, this is not good, right? Other countries, as I've mentioned many times, include natural medicine in hospitals and through health providers, and it's covered, okay? And that is what we want. We don't want Medicaid and Medicare or Medicare for all that will kill you. We want Medicaid and Medicare for all that will keep you healthy. And I'm telling you, many countries, in the Asian countries, doctors get paid when they keep their patients healthy. When you're healthy, they get paid, not when you're sick. So we have to look at politics for all as an opportunity for us to explore what we want to see in our great country, in the United States of America. What does health care for all look like? Is it going to make the big pharma even stronger and have a monopoly on it in hospitals like it is now? Or is it going to open it up so that they include natural medicine, homeopathic medicine, food, cleansing, vitamin drips? You know, you can get an IV drip with vitamins in it. You can get an IV drip with homeopathy in it like they do in Europe. I mean, very, very good, quick healing, because they want to get you well, because it's expensive for the government to pay for your stay in the hospital. So the quicker they get you better, that's what they're looking for. The less money it's going to cost, the quicker that you get better. And so that's why they use homeopathic medicine in hospitals. If there's even a chance that someone would do that and would say that, and one of these wonderful candidates who are running, we have to find out what their belief systems are. And that is why it's important, if you can go to an event where they're speaking and you could ask the question, then what you want to do is call me up and we'll have you on the show to talk about it. We want to get that information out on Facebook. Who's going to promote natural medicine? Because if no one promotes natural medicine, it'll be just like it is now. Okay? And right now, there are over 780,000 deaths each year from medical mistakes at hospitals and in medical offices, from giving wrong drugs, from doing wrong surgeries, from doing surgeries that are unnecessary. So those are fatalities. We can help that if each one of us can own the opportunity and take advantage of the opportunity to ask questions, to find out what to do, okay, and what this is all about. Because some of these candidates seem very good, very knowledgeable, and some of them don't. But if one of them had a propensity for natural medicine and wanted to see that that was in there and could make a promise, I'd vote for him. Okay? I would definitely vote for him. And you would too, I'm sure. So that is all about the politics of health. That is about where we are with that today. It's finding that information out. How is Joe Biden with natural medicine? How does he feel about that? You see, they don't answer the questions that will, if they answered that question, and I must have emailed Bernie, I don't know how many times. They keep emailing me for money. Well, if they want money, they got to answer my questions, right? So you email them your question, but you don't hear back. You call them and you leave a message and you don't hear back. What is that? That is, to me, my answer. That is my answer. Nobody cares, or somebody got it to him and he just sloughed it off. What we need to know is what they're going to do. This is a critical election. And I think that we could, with all of the Democrats running and everybody that's running, we could possibly have better health care than we do now. And that's as political as I can get. Okay, so the politics of health is very interesting. Now, I want to take a few more minutes and discuss with you about politics in general, because it's interesting to note that the people who run for politics don't seem like normal people to me. I wonder, like, what you have to have inside of yourself to say, gee, I think I'll struggle and I will have a lot of contention and argue a lot and have fights. And yeah, I'm in for that. I'm in for politics, and, I want to do that. And what does it take for someone to push them to the place where they want to be a politician and run for president of the United States? Very hard job to do. Very, very difficult, because you have the responsibility of working things out, negotiating with other countries, doing the best that you can for the United States. Who is going to do that? We need a somewhat normal person that has their ego in check, who believes in natural medicine, who is not going to let the big pharma run this new healthcare system, because that would be awful. So think about that and get back to me and ask questions. You can always email me on Facebook. You can just send a Facebook message, or you can email me at 88teresa, THERESA, @gmail.com if you have a question you'd like to ask. And then I can talk about that on the air. So what's coming up now is our last segment, which I just added. So we have another segment on giving you some of those questions that I had from last time I did the show. And one of those questions is by a woman who has a lot of various types of symptomology and allergic symptomology, whether it's sneezing, whether it's bronchial tube issues, whether it's sinus conditions. There's always something that's going on with her, either her lungs or sinuses or nose, whatever, and ears. All right, so one of the things we need to look at related to all of the things I said, first and foremost, my friends, is to see if you have any dental mercury amalgam fillings, or you have crowns with nickel that are lining it, or you have root canals. Root canals are all infected at some time or another. In other words, in the first 6 months or a year, they may not be infected, but they could start getting infected after you've had them a year ago. But you always have infection in them, always. Okay, and so anything in your mouth, any dental disturbances would cause sinuses, polyps, breathing issues, snoring issues, ear issues, lung issues, bronchial tube issues, lymphatic issues. Okay? And yes, I've had patients with cancer, and when I suggested that person go to a biological dentist and consider exploring having their root canals pulled out, they had 10 of them. That patient talked with the dentist and decided to do it, and then the cancer went away. The tumors went away. Okay? So I know that it is very important, not only for sinus conditions, because you have to understand that your mouth is in your head, your sinuses and ears and nose and everything that happens and headaches, it's in your head. Your thyroid is in your neck. Most people who have thyroid issues have toxicity from heavy metals in their mouth, or a root canal, or 2 root canals. So what we need to do is, like this particular person who emailed me, I'm giving you the response to her now. I know that she's listening. And the first thing I would do is do a cleanse, do the slow cleanse. Go to see a biological dentist, have the mercury removed. After you have the mercury removed, or any heavy metal that's in your mouth, then you want to take the Mercury Plus Detox to neutralize the mercury in your body, but you want to wait till it's out of your mouth first. But while it's still in your mouth, you can do the slow cleanse immediately. And to help your symptomology, if you have sinuses and various issues with your sinuses, you need to then do NAC Pro and acetylcysteine. And you would take 3 of them at a time. You would take that until the congestion clears. I would do biofilm detox as well, which helps to flush out a lot of pathogens. It's important, biofilm detox. And you can take that along with the cleanse. Okay, and then there's the Optimal Multi Pro, which is the best multivitamin on the planet. I know I make it. I'm a little bit connected with it here, but I'll tell you why. It's completely natural. It's from the United States. Nothing is from China. It has no chemicals in it. It's free of magnesium stearate. It's free of coloring, stearic acid. It's free of any kind of toxins. Okay, and then it's in a veggie cap. So the Optimum Multi Pro is amazing for everybody to take, no matter what your condition, or you just want to stay healthy and you're exercising a lot and you want the best you can do for your body. Everything is clean. Everything is natural. Everything is non-GMO. Get it today. Take 2 with breakfast. That's what most people need. If you're an athlete and if you're exercising a lot and putting a lot of energy out there, you might need 2 for breakfast and 2 for lunch. Okay, so that would be very helpful. And the other thing is your minerals, is the nanoionic multiple, which is phenomenal. So what we need to do also, it's a nanoionic iodine. Everybody needs iodine. And you want to take a safe iodine. You want nanoionic iodine. It's the only real, seriously real ionic iodine. And that I know is ionic and not colloidal or something else. So what we need to do is the ionic iodine is used to protect your breasts, protect ovaries, uterus, protect all of your organs in your body. Very, very good for the thyroid and the heart, the whole body, your hair, your tissues, of your skin. So taking the right iodine is key. Okay, so nanoionic iodine directions are on the label. We've got just a minute left. So what we want to do is invite you to ask questions so I can talk about it next week. All the things I'm talking to you about it now are to answer questions from my listeners who email me. And they sometimes have written it on Facebook, and I will get it, and sometimes I may not get it from Facebook. But you can always email us at 88teresa@gmail.com, and I will for sure answer your question on the air, so, because everybody learns at that point. And next week, we're going to talk more about the neuroemotional remedies, number 7 through number 13. Be such a pleasure for me to help you with this. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye for now, and we'll see you next week. This is Dr. Dale signing off on Natural Health Radio. Bye for now.